the back. And make sure you know the people you are with on the table. Make sure you know the people you are with on the table. Yeah, I want you to make a circle with the people you are with on the table. Yeah? Make a circle with only the people you're with on the table. Make a circle of only the people you're with on the table. Yeah? Make a circle. Whether you were two, I don't know how that circle is going to look like. Ndenda mwena mukole circle. Mwena mukole circle na aleba circle mwe hat. Only one. Which circle is this one? Huh? Join these ones. Make a small circle. Make a small circle of your table. If your people have gone outside, kindly join the group that has very small or few people. Are we all together? So what I want you to do, I want that you face the back of the person you're holding on your right. Face the person you're holding on your right, but make sure you keep it. Make sure you keep in that circle. Yeah? But face the person. Are we together? Are we together? It must remain a circle. It must remain a circle, right? So you touch the shoulder of the person next to you. Touch the shoulder with two hands. With two hands. So if you are unable to touch the person with two hands, it means you are not in a circle. Yeah? We are going to do a small energizer called apple, mango, orange. Yeah? How that works, when I say apple, we jump in front, right? When I say mango, we jump backwards. Yeah? And when I say orange, you turn and face the other side. You face the opposite side. And after facing the opposite side, definitely you have to hold the shoulder of the other person, right? Are we together? Do we understand the instructions? Okay, pardon. We are going to do an energizer called apple, mango, orange. Yeah? That energizer, when I say apple, jump in front. When I say mango, jump backwards. Together? When I say orange, turn on the opposite side, like this, and touch the next person, the other person, right? Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, we go. Mango. Eee, what is happening? Aha. Okay. We are starting afresh. We are starting afresh. We are starting afresh. We are starting afresh. The best group is going to win something, by the way. Eh? So just know, if your neighbor is making mistakes, are we together? Let's start. Order. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, apple. I am seeing some people squeezing themselves. Huh? Apple. Orange. Oh my God. One last time. One last time. Mango. Apple. Mango. Orange. Mango. Apple. Orange, apple, mango. Okay. There is a time I was in an event, And someone told me something. I was seated on a table, so when I came back, I wanted to sit back on my place. Unfortunately, someone had already sat in my place. So I came and told them, kindly, could you sit on the other side? I mean, I had already sat on that place. And this gentleman tells me, order doesn't matter, right? Order doesn't matter. I cooled down and sat on the other side, yeah? But what that taught me was, and in this particular energizer, is it doesn't matter how you perform in that energizer, yeah? It doesn't matter, but I know which people won. Unfortunately, you mixed up the tables, so I can't tell who won. But a group that was extreme corner performed very well, and a group that was extreme end also performed so well. But nonetheless, all of us are winners. Like I said, order doesn't matter. It is an energizer. It is meant to confuse you here and there, but all looking forward to making sure that you are stronger and more active. So, I want to introduce myself again. Amazina ganje ningasha amazina nira kabaranyeta Kenneth Twesije, ndio muzagwa wa Kabare, ni muturage wa Rukungiri, Nyarushanje yaba hariho ararugo witu twarugawe je nkakwa mecha 10 tuwo manyi, eh? Then ndio ndatura Kampala, nyine Innovation Hub nanye kokora reba Innovation Village. Murakimanyije Innovation Village nayo muntu witu wa Kampala, turenda yo nito tubona abantu bitu bambarara batandikeho zindi za Innovation Hubs muri Mbarara tikwe Angeli Kampala konka nyine plan zo kugitwaro witu Kabale umwaka gutaka wire ndanagizire yendijo, mwampurira no harenda kutandika Innovation Hub muri Mbarara ningashi mu district yo wanyu noha ukabo gyahulira nakuteka muke sente, Anyway, let's get started. Kokuna bagambira, I also run an innovation hub in Kampala. It's called Tech Buzz Hub. Mwaza ha Google mukaronda Tech Buzz Hub, muraza kumbona, ningashi muraza kutubona. Itwe Tech Buzz Hub echera kora, we provide affordable, flexible office facilities as low as 25,000 shillings per month. Emitware ebiri chweko mwezi, you have an office at Tech Buzz Hub. Nohora basa kubona office yemitware ebiri chweka muri Mbarara. Aruho. So Tech Buzz Hub, moreover in Kampala, we provide office space starting as low as 25,000 shillings, 160,000 shillings, 600,000 upwards, yeah? But we also do other things like training, of course, innovation, entrepreneurship, and many other things. We mentor and coach. We also incubate, yeah? So in my speech, I think I've already answered one of the things you're here to know. What is that one thing? Who knows what I have so far answered? Or what have I so far taught? What have I so far taught? I have so far taught very many things. I thought we came from the energizer, very energized, very active. What have I so far taught? Mwayanga kwemereze mikono ndafaga kuwa muzindaro nyowe nyomukiga tindazana. Do we have a second mic? Okay. So wamara kugambo ndija kemerezo mkono, take charge and take the microphone.
Thank you. You have talked about your business name, what the business does.
Good.
And your location.
Business name, what my business does, my location. What a wonderful one. Who else? What else have you learned so far? Who else? Who else? Who else? Eh, God, we are very bad students. Yamau. Okay, let's go.
Thank you, sir. You said also you have a view to start another branch in Cavalry.
Great. So he's going to be my first client in Cavalry.
Thank you.
Kandi lazana kuwa na space ya tia ugotia agamu. Next, yes?
For me, I have learned that you do training in innovation and entrepreneurship.
Do training, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So, now that he has said that, do we all understand what innovation means or what entrepreneurship means? Do we all understand that? Yeah? Do we? Today we are talking about startup policy. If you don't understand what a startup is, what entrepreneurship is, and what innovation is, by the time you leave here, you should be a preacher or a pastor or imam or father just speaking about those things. So you need to be very active. Are we together? Because if you live here and you do not understand those things, then it means you have not attended. Don't be like these people who go to church on Sunday and then you meet them, be like, they tell you, today I was at church. What did you learn? I don't know what exactly happened. They can't easily explain, even if they do not say, I don't know. Because maybe during sermons and preachings and whatsoever, they were not actively participating and listening. Are we together? Let's have him.
You said that you can find someone who can start an innovation village in his or her district.
My brother, I want to teach you something else, and I want to think that everyone else should learn this. I wear so many hats, by the way. I'm not just an entrepreneur, but I also train. And one of the things I train in is etiquette. Do you know what etiquette means? I train about etiquette. If you ever be in a room where people are speaking while standing, kindly also stand. It's a sign of respect. Etiquette has 3 principles. Principle number 1 is respect. Principle number 2 is consideration. Principle number 3, who knows what it is? Principle number 1 is what? Respect. Principle number 2, consideration. Principle number 3, who knows what it is? Okay, I'm not going to tell you that one. You're going to search for it, because that is the only way you're going to learn. And at the end of the day, I will ask you how many activities I've given you, by the way. Because then, if you do not understand that if I am at my home or at your home, guys, for us, we know moving in our boxers everywhere, when we are at hostel, everywhere. But when you're home, do you move with the boxer anywhere, in the sitting room, wherever it is? That is it's because you have a sense of respect, respecting your parents, respecting your cousins, sisters, and whatsoever. Consideration is, they are little children, they are elders, name it. And the third one, go find it, okay? So respect is very critical. So, my brother, you can stand up and tell us.
Okay, thank you very much for correcting me.
You're welcome.
I was saying that you said that you can find someone who can start an innovation village in his or her district. Thank you very much.
Amazing. So do you want to get started? Do you want to start?
Yes.
Good. Just approach me. I will see how we can work it out. Yes?
You have also taught us that you can start an office with 25,000 shillings only.
Exactly. You can start an office. Wow. Was that hard? Was that hard? Someone I am yet to point at. Okay.
Okay. You did say you are currently operating from Kampala, and you are planning to open a branch in Cavalry. And what I learned from that, even when I'm still small, it can expand and I take it to my home district, that is Kasese.
Beautiful. Hey, we have people from Kasese. How many people, by show of hands, how many people are from Central Uganda? Are you called Nakazibwe? Huh? Okay, that is amazing to know that we have people who are also coming from where we came from. If you, do we have people from Eastern Uganda? Wow, wow. This is very interesting to know. Now, is there any other person who has a burning thing that they have learned so far? Guys, the first thing I taught you was an energizer. Oh my God. And by the way, never be in an event and they say, let's have an energizer. Someone volunteered to give us an energizer. Be the very first person to do a very interesting activity. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Someone might be looking at you to go and be a part of their community management, Red Cross. Huh? Who knows that? Who doesn't know that Red Cross pays very well? Huh? You want her to tell us how much they pay? I reserve that one. No. But just know, very good organizations are always out there trying to spot who is doing best at what. So you might have studied your chemistry and physics, and in an event like this, you volunteer to do an energizer, and that is how the ED says, you bring that man, that young girl, we need to talk. I think there is much more that certainly he or she can do, even when he heard that you are in chemistry and physics. Yeah? All right. So, keywords that I want us to learn today, and we go out to preach about them. If you feel like you're not very sure about what it is, you're free to always come to me, send me a message and say, I was stuck here, I was trying to explain this concept, I didn't get it. And you see, the more you become a master at explaining certain things, is the more you become a pro at them, right? Right or right? Right or right? There was no option anyway. It had to be right, right? Anyway, before we get started, I wanted to also mention that those ones who are saying you want to learn how to promote, market your products, Mr. Vincent Okema first told us, was inciting us and teasing us, what product do you do? Huh? What is your idea? What is that idea you're working upon? And then someone said something, intertwined blocks. And then in explaining what intertwined blocks, I again said intertwining, you know, and it became a little bit more confusing. So what I want you to understand is, if, just as he said, if you do not know how to describe your product, your service, the most simplistic way, then you probably don't know what you're doing, and certainly you won't market it, you won't sell it, and if you can't sell something, it remains a hobby. It remains just for you. It won't be a business, right? Are we together? And when I asked you what you have so far learned, people were teaching me about my business, reminding me about what we do, meaning I have so far done a very good job by saying to you what TechBuzz Hub does. Together? Are we together? So each of us should be able to learn how to tell their story in just like 30 seconds. If you can't say it in 30 seconds, watakubasa kugambe chora kora munda chi mu seconds zag ashatu. Mu seconds ashatu. Because concentration y'abantu is very small, very minimal. The concentration of people is very minimal. If you take minutes to explain what you do, they only remember where you started from or where you have only ended at. They might never remember anything in the middle there, okay? So, you need to understand how to tell your story. I want to explain 3 concepts, or I want us to understand 3 concepts, And then we can have some distinguished guests in this workshop come and take charge. Yeah? Who remembers the 3 concepts I said we shall try to understand? Who remembers? All of them. Who remembers all of them? Who remembers all of them? Stand up. Who remembers all of them? Who remembers all of them? Who remembers? Who remembers? Who remembers? Who remembers all of them? Only one person. I'm going to give her 5,000 for free. You know, she can go eat a number of sweets that she wants. Because you guys, we need to learn. We need to pay attention. We gave you books. Asaf was very kind enough to give you a book, to give you a pen, to give you a drinking water. So use those things. Yeah, you can have a seat. But claim your 5,000, you know. I should have given her 50,000, right? Huh? I should have given her 50,000, right? I should have given her 50,000, right? How come we started with raw energy? Was that because you are feeling mean? Huh? Was that because you're feeling mean? Okay, the 3 things I talked about was innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. Yeah? And just know, if you understand these things now, everything that Professor is going to discuss about, Mr. Kema is going to talk about, and our chairman or chairperson, Mr. James Makula, is going to talk about, trust me, you will be at par. Let me start with, who understands what a startup is? By show of hands. Who has an idea? Okay. He understands what a startup is. Can we have him get a microphone? Yes. I want him to tell us a little bit about what he knows about a startup. Who understands what innovation is about? Give him. He's that gentleman in blue. Innovation, you know? Good. Who understands? Okay. I've seen 3 people already know what innovation is about. That is good. That is good. But I guess you will have to understand much more today. Entrepreneurship. Who understands what entrepreneurship is about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 6. You see? We are getting there. We are getting there. So let him tell us about startup. Then I will get to see what certainly is missing. Then she will tell us about innovation. I'll certainly try to understand what is missing. And then entrepreneurship. I think someone in this quorum will tell us something about entrepreneurship to balance the board, yeah? So you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. A startup, to be a startup, at least an entity should have a management structure. Let it be a team or anything. And it should at least be incorporated or registered, doing business that is corporate in Uganda. And it should at least also be spending some of its money in research and development, part of its budget.
Wow. Huh? You guys, do you want to test my emceeing skills? Huh? 1, 2. This gentleman has actually performed super well. He gets himself a 10,000. Transport back home. You don't have to find money elsewhere going back home. He has done super well. Why am I saying so? I want to challenge my chair. Since the chair is not there, our assistant, our deputy chair, whether there is a connection between the policy and that gentleman, because looks like he's more aware than anyone else. He has actually explained what a startup is based on the policy. Perfect. So all of you guys, I am challenging you, go and read the startup policy draft where it is now. We are going to, certainly you will have access to how to find it, but go and read and become the preacher or the preacher number one for that policy. So, as he has mentioned, we are defining a startup as a newly started business. And newly doesn't mean that you are just one day. You can be new when you are 5 years. You can be new when you are 2 years. You are still new, right? But you must be spending some money in research. You must be spending, incorporated in Uganda. You must have some management, however temporary it might be, management structure, you know? So why do you think it is defined that way anyway? Anyone with an answer? I should have used sweets. Maybe people are getting demotivated because I'm giving money, right? Huh? Okay, I should get to my bag. And by the way, you know, I'm always well packaged. Anyway, let's go to entrepreneur, right? We said someone will define an entrepreneur from here. Who is ready to define entrepreneur? Okay, let's start with innovation. As you are sorting yourself, if you don't see a hand, I will just randomly select you. Huh? I randomly select you.
Thank you very much. As Arya said, Robin Sasimi is my name. About innovation, how I understand it, innovation is how you find that the product is already in the market, or it has been already produced by any company, but you as a person, you come up with another idea. Let me take an example of our organic feeds. There are many feeds of animals that are on market, like a mineral brocket is already in the market. But when we came to realize that they are producing inorganic feeds or inorganic mineral rock, then we came up with an idea to say that no, why can't we get our usual product or our usual ingredients, and we come up with a normal block. And that's how we used our antill soils and the local salt and also clay soil. We come up with a mineral block. Also it contains minerals, but which are not inorganic but are organic. Thank you very much.
Wow. Conversations of innovators. Sometimes I fall in love with those conversations. And I want to think that 20% of the people here have understood what my colleague has shared. But that is what it means to understand your craft, right? If you guys are doing business, what she has said in simple terms, if you're building a business, you must have something unique about you from the kind of business you're doing, with the kind of business you're doing from the other businesses, MSMEs that are out there, yeah? If you found someone running a restaurant, what new thing are you going to bring in the market that still delivers food or makes food, but in a much more unique and efficient way, right? One could be cloud kitchen. Build a cloud kitchen, meaning you don't have to have a restaurant, but people access food from anywhere, right? They just call in and send me pilau, send me chicken, send me that, send me that. I'm giving you ideas already. So you do something and you look at something being done and improve. The two things I want to make clear, or the three things I want to make clear in innovation, there are three types of innovation. One, I'm seeing people not ready to write, but it's okay. When time comes, I will just look for you. Ndaza kuijanjirent Rastaman. Tugambire. Okay? Now, one is called incremental innovation. And maybe before I even start telling you about those types of innovation, I just want to simply say that innovation can be something new, yeah, that you bring to the market, can be improving the existing solution that is in the market, but as well as building on what is already existing. Are we together? Are we together? I need to hear an amen. Are we together? Are we together? Hey, you guys, I said amen. You are saying yes. Hey. Okay, I know you are even more clever than me. Amen is used in church. So, types of innovation. There is incremental innovation. What that means, just as the word itself, you look at something existing and increment around it. A best example is a smartphone. When a smartphone was introduced, it was doing the basic job of call and maybe access the internet and a few apps. But what makes it a very best example of incremental innovation is every day you are developing apps saying, I want it in the Play Store. Everyone's phone should actually access this app, right? But what does the app do? The app is improving health. Yeah? That is incremental innovation. The person who built a phone has many other things that are being done. Secondly, is called radical innovation. Radical innovation. Radical innovation simply means that radical innovation simply means that you are starting something entirely new. It differs from invention, but like you might look at how people sit here, but you still provide something that is for sitting, but in a totally different way. Yeah? In a totally different way. Are we together? Lastly, I'm taking so much time, is called disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation means that you come to this space, build something, and it disrupts how people interacted with the society. And a good example is Netflix. People used to sell albums of music, movies, blah, blah, blah. Netflix came in and said, you know what? Just pay some money, you access anything you want. I think also Spotify. Any music you want, you don't have to anymore go buying people's albums and what have you. At any time you want to access, you access. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me hand over the microphone to our chairman to usher us into the next agenda. And then, but before that is done, the section we are going into is a section for super learning. Okay, so I have been told some of you might be hungry, yeah? But let me confirm whether I should actually give you breakfast. I get authority from my chair. Breakfast ready? Did you say this or you said this? That. So we are going to first have breakfast. You guys, we came very ready for you. We are first going to have breakfast. Make sure you have enough of what you can. It is also respect to serve what you can finish. I told you I'm a trainer of etiquette. Table manners is etiquette. Yeah? So, and make sure you don't litter. Yeah? They do not give you a serviette and after eating you throw it down. Yeah? Table manners. I'm telling you, today you're going to leave here having studied 100 things. It is up to you on how you decide to apply them. So, let's have our breakfast. We shall be back in the next 20 minutes. Next what? 20 minutes. So, get breakfast as fast as you can. Do the biting of your breakfast, and then we come back here. Thank you very much. And I want to, again, thank you very much for your attention in this simple activity we've done, but come more and supercharged for the next activity. It is going to be led by someone we all admire, a professor. Yes. Thank you very much. Enjoy your breakfast.
But I think that she love me for B. She put the bill so she wide awake.
Go straight to the agenda, and we shall be running through quickly. And it is at this particular point in time that I invite our chairperson to take us through the program. Thank you very much.
Hello. Yeah, dear colleague Kenneth, thank you very much for handing me this next session. Dear participants, you are welcome. We are very grateful that you've been able to spare your time to be here. We know that you have other very important engagements. So by sparing your time, not only to attend, but to participate in this meeting, we don't take that for granted. That's why we value you so much. As you've been earlier told, my name is Makula James Mukasa. I chair the National Startups Technical Working Group or Committee, which is mandated to develop interventions to support the development and sustainability of startups. Startups are not the usual businesses. These are very complex businesses. They are businesses that have innovations that use technology or innovations to move or to operate. So they are not the usual SMEs. They are not the manders sellers on the streets. They are not the vendors of bogoya or makers of furniture or garages. No. And regarding innovation, my colleague Kenneth Twesije has done a very good job to take you through the theoretical bit of innovations, and good enough, you people are in it. Many of you have come to learn that you are in the area of innovation, either as students or as practitioners. So we definitely have a very good audience, and we hope that this meeting is going to be fruitful. The journey to where we are began 2 years ago through what we call a high policy dialogue decision, which requested the minister responsible for trade to come up with government interventions, supporting interventions, not only by government, but also where government can interest or require the private sector to take action, to support you people who have new ideas, or who have ideas and products which have been substantially improved. Innovation, by the way, is not all about products. It's also about processes. It's also about business models. You can come up with a process which can cause, can we say disruptive effect, but which can cause serious impact in society, which is of high value, So we decided as a ministry to come up with people, multi-stakeholder in nature. I am going to involve to involve a lot of government and private sector language. So where you hear interventions, they can be activities, they can be laws, they can be policies. That is government language. So we moved from having a committee to then, squeezing our heads on what should be done. And we did what we call a legislative impact assessment. I don't know whether some of you are here. I don't see some of you. Unfortunately, my site is a bit damaged. But there are people I don't see who were here last time. But it's always good to have also new people. It's not in any way negative. So the regulatory impact assessment is a requirement of government. If you see a program like NADZ, like even this PDM and the rest, the policies you see, the laws you see, government is supposed to undertake that research to establish evidence as to whether government should come in. Did you know that we can leave some problems to exist on their own and eventually they will be solved? The government sometimes thinks like that. We leave it, the problem will solve itself. Or we just do what we've been doing and the problem will go away rather than come up with new activities or new laws. So there are many ways of tackling, but the research we did pointed to a policy. A policy is a guiding framework that can require government or the private sector to take actions to address certain challenges. You all know that the cost of doing business in Uganda is very high. We realized it's a very big problem to you startups and entrepreneurs generally. Some of you, I see you are very young people. I don't think you have 10 acres of land as Corato to present to a bank to give you a 40 million shilling loan. No, but you need the money. I don't think you have enough cows as individuals so that they can also act as Corato. These days, things are moving towards the positive. There is what they call SIMPO. SIMPO is an intervention by the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, where you can go and register movable items. You can register your furniture, your car, and those become assets which you can present to the bank, and the bank will give you a loan. So the policy that is going to be presented today is the National Startup Policy. We are going to present to you the situation as it is. Innovation is very wide. So we'll present to you the situation as it is, and we'll also give you the reasons as to why, the issues, what informed our interventions. Then what are those interventions that we have come up with to address the prevailing challenges? And then we'll ask you for your input, much as you are young entrepreneurs, but from the interaction we've had so far, we believe you are a very good audience which can generate positive input to this policy. The reason as to why we are here, therefore, is to consult you so that at the end of the day, we have an implementable and impactful policy. Some of you have had complained that government develops policies and shelves them. Maybe it's because they don't consult you. We want to be different. We want to come back here next time when actually we are going to implement what you have told us and what others have also told us. You might miss out a few things which we have maybe captured from northern Uganda, western Uganda, and we think they can cause change to you, our startups in Mbarara or Ankole region in general. You have raised some issues, and along the way, we will attend to them. So with those few words, I would like to introduce you to my dear professor. I can call him the son of the soil. He is not only a professor, in other words, he has not only read, professors read, but he's a practitioner. He was once a startup. I believe Professor has transformed from being a startup to a formidable enterprise worth talking about. With those few words, allow me now to hand over to Professor Ernest Abaho for his submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Muridemta. Our chairperson and the district representatives. I can see my OB here. He had forgotten about me because the last time we met I didn't have glasses and we were still in secondary, so you can imagine the time that has passed. We are growing into old men. Konkanyon wanyeta Ernest Abaho owitono Rwampara Chinoni. And I did my A-level from St. Peter's Katukuru Kujimanya St. Peter's Katukuru. Actually the school, the land was donated by the father of your minister. Yes, yes. So we have been doing this policy, but I know sometimes we confuse policy with law, with what? I don't know how many of you are university students, just by show of hands. Okay. How many of you are students but own a business? The hands have reduced in number. Okay. How many of you are students and you are employed somewhere? It's not your business, but you're employed there. Okay. I know I was told also that there are people here who are lecturers in the universities, different universities. Okay. Then government officials, they are here. Okay. And then those who are not students but have graduated out of university or college. I'm doing this because I want to know the people I'm speaking to. Okay. How many of you are broke right now? Just by show of hands. This one is raising, but with reservation. Being broke is okay. Being poor is not okay. Okay. How many of you admire people who are employed in big organizations and government? Just by show of hands. This is a big man. He supervises all the commercial officers in Uganda. How many of you admire him? He's a big man in the ministry. Okay? I have my OB called Moses. Moses, if you have seen cars written on M005, M00 what? He was my OB. How many of you admire him? Is he the one of Emerald something? The building? Yeah, Fadsalt. Actually, he's the distributor of electricity in this region. He's the umeme of this side. Amazon Grand. Yeah, he was my deputy head boy in O level. How many of you admire him? One. How many of you admire Baria? Do you see we have a problem? You admire poor people because for us who work in government, we are poor people. Me, I actually admire someone who has his 4 border borders than someone who is a very big person at the district there. Because the one at the district is broke and poor. The one on border is only growing for the 4th border, for the 5th border. Am I lying? No. But you admire us because we come with very big vehicles that are not ours, they are for government. So, Reverend, we must change the direction. If you have read Ecclesiastes, I've forgotten the chapter. It's very clear. It talks about money. How many of you think that heaven is for the poor? How many of you believe it? Okay, how many of you believe that the poor cannot go to heaven? And you have your reasons, including me, by the way. Heaven is not for the poor, Reverend. You know that. They don't preach it, yes, but let me tell you, if you want to go to heaven, avoid poverty. Because all the sins are supported by poverty. Can we pick any sin? Just pick any sin. Theft. Prostitution. Look at the 10 Commandments and you tell me where the poor can survive. You see, so it's not true that heaven, when they talk about the poor, they don't mean the poor in money. They mean the poor in spirit. That's why Reverend is always telling you, you must be hungry for God every day, every time. You are poor in spirit and you tell God, I need you a lot more and more and more and more. It's not money. And the Bible says, what money can't do, just leave it. Because money can. It's only referring to save death and cancer. But the rest money can. If you think money can't do anything, then you are lost. If you read the book of Yasin in the Quran, it speaks the same things. You know, the Bible and the Quran almost speak about the same things because they are all preparing us to go to heaven. What is happiness? We have a colleague who did a PhD in happiness. But himself is not happy. But what is happiness? Who can tell us? Who of us is happy? Who of you today is happy? I'm not going to embarrass you, but I will ask you, why do you think you are happy? Where is the second microphone? Tell us why you think you are happy and we analyze you. It's one, eh? Okay, he has. You tell us you are happy and you describe the happiness that you have.
I'm actually happy because I find joy in what I'm doing here.
You think he's happy? He's happy about joy? Mr. Kema, your hand went up, so I want to give you a chance also. He said he's happy. But, okay, our brother says, I'm happy because I'm finding joy in whatever I'm doing. And the last person to help us will be our lecturer, the Reverend. The biblical perspective of happiness.
Wow, thank you, Professor. I'm happy because, one, my soul is with a living spirit. As long as my soul, the living spirit is within, I have obtained what favors for me to be happy in the world. Thank you.
Okay?
Professor,
And why didn't you clap for him, the other one?
Professor,
yes,
I am worried that the Reverend will lack what to say after this man's speech.
Reverend, say he's right and we stop the conversation. And let the Reverend wrap it up. He said he's right. Let the Reverend tell us what makes him. But let Mr. Okema also give us his version. And then Reverend will give us his reason for being right. Yes.
I'm happy because I have 3 happy children. So it seems I'm doing something right.
Okay. He's a very strong family man. He loves his family, he loves his children, and he's happy for that. Then, Reverend, give us your view in line with what came slightly before Mr. Kema.
You know, the Bible, actually Solomon talks of what it means to be happy, and he talks of wealth as meaningless. He talks of all those things. You acquire all things in the world, but you are not happy. So all that is meaningless according to him. But what can make one happy is to feel, to be content with what he has at whichever level. Okay? To be content, but to make sure he lives, he eats, and he enjoys life. He wants to have more, but you don't have it in a rubbish way. Okay? So feel at home, be content with what you have, but you can work for more.
Now, there is happiness that looks like happiness, and there is real happiness. There is pleasure, there is happiness. Does pleasure bring happiness, or happiness brings pleasure? Now, there are 3 elements in happiness. There is God, the things that bring happiness in life. I'm not so religious per se, but if it was social media, I would say I'm a friend to God on Facebook. So we chat. Then there is happiness that is humanly. But they also say there is happiness below humanly. Things like worth. Those are things that are really below. It is easy to be wealthy, but there is wisdom and moral values. It is not easy to have those. Is it easy? You can be intelligent but not wise. Do you believe so? So wisdom is not easy. You can be a professor but you are still stupid. And I'm sure you know some professors that are stupid. I hope I'm not part of them. But don't you know professors who are stupid? They do things and you are like, is it a nickname or? Then there are those called godly sources of happiness. That's what he was talking about. Now, the things that are humanly and below humanly, they help us to become happy. But they are not happiness in themselves. That's why we have pleasure. How many of us love money? You see? He doesn't love money, and the other lady next to Reverend doesn't love money. They are the only ones in this room. But is money important? No. It's what money brings. Because in having money alone does not make you happy. But it is what you use money to acquire that brings what? Isn't it? Today is a Friday. And some of you are like, if I get like 100,000 today, I will enjoy my Friday. But will you chew the paper? It's what you want to use it for. Are we talking? Okay. If you were to have a great weekend this weekend, how much money would you need? Let me ask this brother of mine here.
I would actually need like...
Just today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Only?
Yes. And you are very, very okay and happy. If someone calls you, how are you? You say, I'm not complaining.
Then it would be 150K.
150K. 100,000.
Yes, one day, 50,000.
It's okay. And then someone calls you and they say, how are you? You say, this is the best government ever. I've had people saying, you say, how are you? They say, I'm blessed. So you use those words up to Monday morning. 150 what? Okay. Can we ask him another question? What would you use that money for? Be honest. No one will judge you. Please, let us not judge him, okay? Yes. If it is getting your girlfriend to come and stay with you, say it is okay. If it is going to memory, you say, memory is a hotspot for prostitutes in Imbarara. If it is sleeping in vibes and you are on top of the tables, if it is going to church and you praise and worship and you give tithe, you just tell us. If it is to go home and you visit your people, you carry them things, just tell us. What will you use the 150,000 for?
Honestly, when you talked about the money, the first thing that came to my mind was food.
Okay, food. What is the fancy place here? In Kampala, when you find, especially people of your age, say, we go to Cafe Javas. Here, what is the place?
The nearest place to my home, I would say, the Heat.
The Heat?
Yes.
The Heat, the other side on Kakova Road?
Yes.
You would eat every day 50K, 50K?
Yes.
Okay? Now, if we said we go and pay for the food, for him he goes there and eats, will you be as happy as if you were spending the money yourself? It's a yes or no. You want to use the money for? Then we say, go there and eat whatever you want, so that you become happy.
Yes and no.
Yes?
Yes and no.
Why no?
Because now, if I have the money, there seems to be a variety of choices I can make with that money.
On the food? You said you want to eat food.
Yes, I want to eat food, but currently, with the money, in some way I can change my mind
And buy what?
and buy something else.
Like,
Maybe someone in some way, I get hit by an idea of how best to invest my money. It's like a deal. Someone says, there are some things I want to buy. So if you help me with that money, I can buy them and then I'll give you interest later.
okay? You see now, he has moved out from food to investment. You get it?
But if you only give me food, it will only be food and there won't be happiness because I have no choice but eat.
You said you want 150,000 to be happy, and your happiness is food, and food at the heat, isn't it? So, I'm asking this for a reason. We have to live with a purpose. When you live with a purpose, you actually become happy because every step forward towards your purpose brings happiness. Actually, investing will not give you purpose, happiness. What you get from investment will give you happiness. But every time you become happy, your desires shift to another. And that is called a need for achievement. I don't know how many of you have studied entrepreneurship at the university. There is someone called McClelland, 1962. He wrote about the characteristic of an entrepreneur is the desire to achieve, the hunger for success and progress. Okay? This is not an entrepreneurship class, but I prefer to start that way. There is, indeed, it is true that there are no jobs. There are no jobs. But even the jobs that are there are really not good. They are not good. But even the jobs that are there that are good, they are not good. Those that are even good are not good. And the best jobs that are there are not good. So we have started from no jobs to jobs not good, good jobs not good, better jobs not good, best jobs not good. Do you know anyone in your village who was in a very good job, but when they left the job, they are worse than the worst? Look back in your place, in your village, in your sub-county. There is always that person. Have you seen the person? Do you see government vehicles when they are on the road? They are nice. Don't they look nice? When the government official comes, everyone stands. That is not who they are. And Mr. Kema, you are a senior officer in government. He's here. When they park the vehicle, the person walks home. Very challenging. Have you seen our MPs? Have you met Chamadidi? Does he look like he was an MP? Do you know his salary? An MP's salary. And you wonder why people spend all their lives fighting to be MPs. So, there are no jobs. The jobs that are there are not what? Not good. Do you want to know his salary? But he's working every day. He was in Guru, he was in Jinja. Today he's here. He has to go to Kampala. Yes. He supervises all the commercial officers in Uganda. He's a big man. Do you want to know his salary? These people want to know your salary, sir.
By the way, I'm not going to be ashamed. Salaries. I earn 700,000.
Mtwaro change. 742,000, but the 42 has not been coming. Mtwaro change nengai? Mtwaro change nena. Nenkumez. Okay? Uganda shillings. Then, after here, go at the stage. Ask the boda how much he makes in a month. Let's talk about a month since we are comparing on a month. Average reno babone mtware 5. Tukwe? Mtware 5. After eating, this one gets 742 before. This one gets it after eating, transport, everything. And he works when he wants. Okay? Those who did math, what is and they work every day. So it is 50,000 times 30. That is 1.5. Do you see the problem? So who of those is living a better life? Boda, because he's employing himself. For him, he gets 1.5 as the money he saves at the end of the month. This one eats the 742 and goes into negative. These are things we need to think about. Yes. Mubabugana, mubazarawa, mubajuma, bichi. Konka, at the end of the day, kokuzamere here no shanganga abana baba juba boda bashashura on time. Usually Zantare no kubareba Barai school because they have the money. And now for us who are employed, you even take a loan of 5 years to buy a boda for an extra income. I don't know whether you get the logic. So we have to change our mindset towards self-employment. So that I mixed the local language for emphasis. So another problem is those who are in business are not growing. Why? Maybe we don't have good markets locally. Those of you in business, how many of you are supplying at the district? He's here. Have you gone to Bishop Stewart University and you say, this financial year we are giving students an opportunity to supply? It's not there. Isn't it a problem? A big problem. A big one. But Bishop Stewart, you have students who have businesses. How many students are supplying Bishop Stewart? You give them a chance. Okay? Another thing is, our lifestyle is a big problem. The little you get, you want to go and eat it at the heat. Yes. Instead of being patient, you eat local, simple, and you keep increasing as business improves. We want to spend the whole of it on luxury. I see people carrying phones of 6 million, but they have not paid rent. Yesterday I paid my askari in the morning. Today in the morning I found him with a smartphone, which is 3 times more than his salary. So in the morning he's from his Langi. He said, "Boss, I have a smartphone now. You can send me WhatsApp." I pay him 200,000 per month, and he has a phone of 550. So in my mind, I said, now this man. Okay? Since I'm a public servant, I will tell you my salaries because it is not a secret. I earn 15.8 million per month. But I struggled to pay 3 million for this phone. I felt I was bleeding. But I know I have colleagues who earn 500,000. They are carrying phones of 6 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million because it has a good camera. So we have a problem of lifestyle, and we identified it as a problem even when we were here. But even these people, you see border borders in town, when you are in club there in Vibes, you see a border cyclist buying a bottle of wine at 160,000 in the bar, 250, and is surrounded by 3 ladies. So you wonder, it's a problem here in Africa. It's not only Ugandan, but it is African. Okay? So we have that problem. It is also something we identified. Another one is our usage of technology. Our usage of technology. What is technology? It's not just a laptop and internet and a smartphone. No. Innovative knowledge. Technical knowledge is technology, is it? Okay, how many of you are in value addition? Okay, I'll pick at random and you tell us what you are doing. There's a gentleman there. Yes, you with the stripes. Yeah, yourself. And then we will say he's innovative, he's using technology or not.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Mranja Justus. I'm adding a value. I'm doing chapati business. I'm having a business of chapati. I found that
nokora chapati zingaye mwizo.
Mwizo ninkora chapati nintero obuntu bushatu.
Ani maisa chapati, ejini chapati. Ejituka chapati eji. Notero tupapura tunga.
Eite chapati.
Eite chapati.
Yes.
Okay?
Kuna herze na shanga nti nyine ku adingamu ndikukora za Rolex.
Nokora Rolex zingaye?
Rolex nchirigira ba customer. Omwizo.
Oina okuhandika?
Yes, I have recorded.
So tokaje oti nichirijira. Noje tukurijira bitabo byanje.
Yeah, 5 Rolex.
5 Rolex.
Yes.
Chapati ne azinga?
1K. 1,000 shillings.
1,000 shillings.
Yes.
Jimaisa ngunakora mtwaro 8. Nakora chapati chinana. Chapati chinana ti mtwaro 8.
Mtwaro 8, yes.
Nobotire muzinga?
Byona amanimba nkozise mtwaro 5.
Mbwe nokora mtwaro 3 burizo?
Yes.
Ati we na headmaster uishomero ya secondary no horukiza income.
Of course ninyi.
Okay. Nokora wenka?
I have 2.
2?
Yes.
Why don't you have 10? Because if he had 10, how many would he be making? You get this times 5, is it?
Yes.
How many? Just us.
Yes, please.
Okabe no kora chapati maganan.
Maganan.
Abakuzirya baroho?
Barum.
Konka tokuzita mwanya go.
Konke the problem I have capital ina akorise niyonche niyinkuba ninkora kare
base. Ate mitware shate yo saving no jitai.
Nijante nguramo tubuzi kwenda ngo ntunge ndijo business.
Now we identified that problem. Borechire kusitama. Kusitama means sit. Mbaga no kusitama no kutandama. No kutandama tukwe kusitama kubi. Okutura obubi. So problem here is it capital, because he says all the profit he buys goats and diversifies. Is his problem capital? Problem ya weteri capital. Hati kuno jangu business yawe netongana kuri yakutwira police. Ekujeti ninkora sente zanje omarozi gabere mbusi. Okay? Omwizoba nakore mtware ngai amagoba. Embuzi ezo kugura no jigure mtwaro 25 ashatitwe.
Mtwaro ni 10 nayo ninjibona.
10.
Yes.
Then kuza goba nokora mama goba gazinga.
Nimba ntagetingire market kwenda ngu at the end of the semester I'm the one who pays myself tuition.
At the end of the semester you make how much? Nojiguza zinga?
Embuzi. Emtwari 10 nimba ninjiguzi 15 20.
After 4 months.
3 months.
If we had invested that 120 in chapati and he makes 30,000 per day, who is in good business? Chapati. But you have not looked at the cost of maintaining the goat and the risk of going to the garden, and he spends actually 2 goats on one. Watch the justice. It means that justice has advisors who do not understand business growth. Hati wakwatarwe mkona wateka yo chapati ibiri points ibiri wazakakoba wateka points ibiri wazanya mtanga waza Kampala. Is a place called Kampala. Waza Kampala waza Muyenga. And you have 10. And then you go to the district, you go to this man, my OB, he's a very kind man. You say, noreba nishashura fizi niyo ninjeza ho kugera ki na nishaba nyihandikise batantega nsaba council. I think that's the language that we use, that council disturbs. Now when they come, you show them that you are actually not operating illegally. And they may ask for some little money, like how much is it? There is a fee. Agawa, Mr. Agawa. Nubashashura zinga inko wa chapati? Per annum. In all his 10 points, he only pays 50,000. So, in 365 days, 2 days are for paying for
taxes.
Because they also incur costs to support you. They don't eat the money. That money is eaten by other people, not these people. Now, hajira wa kuteganisa, you go to Mr. Gaba, you say, konga shika nshashwire risiti yanje kanjiji. Hachiba harori chikorwa wa business bambara, ni ujo stam. You get it? Now, instead of investing in goats, ujo tukashika ningurenga no kaningura buto abwenchi ntakwe supplying. In one of the points, you put a small outlet. You buy wholesale, but you also supply others. So you are almost operating at 0 cost, because the other ones pay your investment. You get it?
Yes.
After your university, you will find, if it is 400 chapatis, how much is that per day? A chapati is 1,000. 400,000. And is making a profit of because he has grown by 5.
Yes.
So 30,000 times 5 is what?
150.
150. He has moved from a profit, daily profit of 150,000 to of 30,000 to 150,000.
Yes.
You and your lecturer, who is better off?
Me.
You see, you have moved from being better than a head teacher in a secondary school. You are now better than
a lecturer.
What is 150 times 30? 4.5. Now you are actually no longer making chapatis. That's not boss. No supervising. Because oyugwire ne duka, atu ya duka orukugira ki? Owarwe bukona yizire sign injira ki? Ingano na chapati na buto. Owa Kampala yizire ingano na buto. Bareba? Ugendo wago mushijo jo tukonkande ebere minyeto tekumanya kore ebyo bintu. Ohandika parish development model. Nyenda kwegese minyeto kuba kukora ki?
Kora chapati.
You see the mind that we need. Eh? That's what we lack. And it is real. We have a colleague, the deputy director of the campus here, Mbarara, Mubu's campus. For him, he was in mobile money when he was a student. Have you seen the tents opposite Kazire?
Yes.
That's his. Do you know how much money he has put in? Over 3 billion now, because he came from China yesterday. Mega. You'll not see photogenics coming back to West. But it was mobile money. Akawaine kuruganyi hanga kikabaharwe. This one knows him. He's a professor who says the salary from professorship is for drinking, just because it doesn't make sense to him. So that's just us. You are doing well, but you must know that you focus on your business. So we identified that as a problem in Uganda. We are business prostitutes. Yes. You see, when you expand, you'll find yourself no kuboine na nemdara ya chapati za bwizibwera. Wachiriwa? Okushanga oli nyihanga, oli ali abiri. They can call you Mr. Chapati, it's okay. So, that is something we need to think about. Na wano wasano kuleta innovation ojo tinyoni nkora chapati ya kahunga. Nkateka mwamate. Aura. Utandika kukora products ezawe, utini nkora chapati eziba kulise shabwe. And you keep improving and you find yourself. Okay?
Professor,
that was him. Yes?
Professor, kunkota kalenjira aho ndenda kusima omushijogo. Kuba yabe cyo kushomeraho chamani mu rumeji. Tindamanya yarabasa nko ya ine nka feeling ninga hine nko kwarehurira okuri different okurugirira nkebigambo bibiri ninga bishate biwamugambira ngunyenja kararabasa kubali omgiga wo muri Mbarara noho arasinga yo bwiga aho muramanye nogwa ine za tractor Kazire tindamanya ogumushije naragira tugambire how does he feel now? Does he feel like he's going to be the richest Mbararian in the next
but
few
also
years?
feeling confident to present his business.
Now from now, what I'm going to start is to expand my business, focusing on making chapati. For example, I'm at BSU. I operate my chapati in Kasingenge. What I'm going to do, I'm going to expand it, to put it in another place. Let's say I put it in Wemijina. We also have the trading center that side. I can put another business, another branch to near at campus, such that I
Yes.
supply those who are around at campus.
Yes.
Yes.
And on Valentine's Day, you give offers. You go to Radio West, you say, I want to promote, I want to work with Radio West. We give Valentine chapatis, Valentine Rolex, all those. You have to keep doing what? Thinking.
Professor,
Yes.
Professor,
Mm.
wagambire ekyo kankwongerereho abantu aba babanza kuha introductions zabo ninga shikweyanjura, and most of them were talking about marketing, that they came here because they want to learn how to market their businesses. And I think some of them might have gotten inspired by this gentleman who does chapati.
Justus.
And they are going Justus, and they are going to start the same. It is very critical and key for you to also maybe mention why their business might never work, just like how Justus's business is working. But also for them to understand that now Justus moving from just selling chapati to also putting offers of Valentines and so on and so forth is actually an issue of marketing. Is actually marketing his business to grow even bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. There is a lot, just as you have to start thinking. Thinking. Aseno kuliane kutware chikopo wano kujiroti aseno chapati. But now when you get permission from the district, and I want to encourage you people, go to the authorities, become official. It's easier to operate than bija otware bisijiro bishereka wa losing a business. Whatever. Wajere kizibu bakwiba toraza police because mbakubuza you are operating as who? I want you to be positive. These people are council tobashuma. We tend to think nabantu babi nabashuma. No, they are there to help us. But it's because we have a negative mindset about them. So there are so many challenges. Do you see that Justus is a millionaire in the next 3 or 4 years if he's serious? Have you seen the way he can be a millionaire? Because nokutandika kukora Rolex zirimo omuceeri, otandike kukora Rolex z'obushaza, nkasumbusa konkiyo nokora chapati products. Noreba okora expanding okashanga in a whole cage hat. And you'll come to the innovation village because they have the other kitchen what? There is the other one automotive. Yes, nibakwegesa okuteka. So oshanga wa advancinga enteka yao. Then ochubawa ina district bakire license omanyangu noteka hona ka sticker Justus test. Hato shanga omuchi yana ndo moja mtware out na njati nyonye ndaka Justus. But don't forget us when you get there. Now, because of the low level of usage of technology and innovation to grow, we have had so many businesses stagnating. You find Justus is only looking for school fees. After graduation, he will be on the street. And yet, he could keep there. Because you now start to have partnerships with these people of outside catering. You give them chapatis, you do what, so that they also reduce the burden on their side. If you balance your 5 million per month, who will get you? Okay? You can even start an institute of making chapatis. Because we have catering, we teach catering at the university. Now, so that is the problem, but there is no policy that helps people like Justus to keep innovating, to keep expanding. And at some point you need big equipment and you need investment. You want also to top up. But the banks are very expensive to borrow from these days, so we have no capital. When we talk of capital, we don't mean that people should be with nothing. No, you should have something, but capital strengthens you. So, we did an assessment when we were here last time. It's called the Regulatory Impact Assessment. And we realized that there is need for a policy to support startups. when I came here, I found you talking about the definition of a startup, and you are right. You must have commitment to innovation. You must be growing. If just as came to me and said, I need to produce 800 chapatis per day, but currently I'm producing 400, you know he's not going to waste the money. It's better than someone who is saying, I want to start making chapatis when he's at 0. You will not believe him, will you? No. Yes. So, therefore, when you have it that way, it means that there are things that must be done. What are those things? One, you must let these people at the district and the key people that make decisions understand the nature of businesses called startups that we have. Two, they must know the policy needs of people who are in startups. Three, we must understand that a business cannot be there without support. It's impossible. That's why even the religious leaders here, Reverend, you keep going to families to refresh their minds about the virtues of a good family. Not that they don't know, but you really want to validate what they know to strengthen them. That's why we have places like the Innovation Village. We call this type of organizations the ESOs, Entrepreneurship Support Organizations. They can give you incubation support, they can give business advisory, they can give market linkages, but it is also a platform where you come to talk about business. You have a conversation, okay? So we have that challenge, but it is necessary. And then you find that most of you have very good ideas, but to put them to reality is a problem. There's a lady who was talking about agricultural products, the organic, non-organic. Where is the lady? Yes. Then if you went to the president and he asks you, how much do you need? And he gives you 1 minute, would you answer his question? What would you tell him?
Thank you, Professor. If I meet Mr. President of Uganda and he asks me a question that how much do I need for my startup business, I would tell him that I need 3M. And why am I saying 3M?
Let's say 3 million if you don't mind.
3 million, thank you. And the reason why I'm saying 3 million, first of all, the requirement that I do need in my startup business, I do need a bone milling machine, because recently now we are using hammers and stones to crush those bones and eggshells. So when I can get that machine, at least there could be an easy way how I can get more products in a few minutes. Thank you.
Okay. More products in a few minutes so that you make more products. Okay, that's what it means. He will not give it to you. Because you haven't told him that you should be able to pay better salary. Because you are producing more. You haven't told him that you would get more and better. Did you? You didn't tell him. You didn't tell him that you'd actually reduce waste. You see? So, then he would ask you, will you buy it or you are going to make it? Or you'll work with those who will make it for you. Do you know why he wants you to know how it is made? So that in future you don't go back for another machine. You learn how to do it when they are doing yours. Technical sustainability. So all those. So there was, when we did what they call the regulatory impact assessment, they realized there is need for that policy to support startups in those areas I've talked about. So we started on the policy. We have been doing consultations widely, and today we are here. And the key issues here are that there must be a vision for a policy. And what we are looking at is you have a high value business, Justus. Your business is not high value. It's not high impact. But when you hit 400 chapatis per day, the value is going to go what? High. The impact, because now you are employing 2 people. When you go there, you'll have 10 people. He has impacted on employment. Okay? But he's generating high level of income. You get it? But his family is improving its welfare. So another one is we want to have these people that support entrepreneurs to become safer when they are supporting you, so that they are recognized. Currently, there is no policy that supports them. So when this is done, the main objectives are, one is the financing system for startups is not yet favorable. The cost of capital is high. Those of you who have gone through business courses, to acquire a loan is expensive. But also the terms and conditions are not fair. Another thing is the business environment. For example, the district, the council will tell you, you must have, how do you call that document? The one you give to such businesses. It's not a trading license. It's something. Yes. It's called what? Not local service. Okay, let's call it a license. They will go to council, they say, Justus needs a license. Whether he has paid or, but he needs it. Then these people will say, according to the policy, businesses like that of Justus can be given a license, but maybe we give him 2 years. Currently, they have no policy that they can use to help you. Okay? That's why we have it. So that's the environment. People don't fear to start business because they fear council. You heard what was in Kampala, I think countrywide, people fearing URA. URA is not the problem, it's the policy. So if this policy, because somewhere we proposed it, these people will come with URA, they say, do you have a tin? Yes. Okay. You don't need to pay taxes according to the policy, but we want to know whether you have a tin, so that if there is an opportunity, it can easily access you to help. But here, when you hear tin, everything goes to taxes, which is not true. The way people fear going to church because they fear to pay tithe. The pastors, today is not your day, so I will not emphasize that. But then, an understanding of the startup process. If this man is making chapatis, he's also buying charcoal. You get it? But the welders are also selling to him the stoves. But the wholesalers are selling to him the flour and the oil. So he needs, don't only favor chapatis, chapati makers, and you forget charcoal sellers. You would have killed part of. So understanding that whole ecosystem and how things connect is very important. And then, of course, why should I go to research for a Rolex of, is it 10,000, 15,000? Around that. How much is your Rolex, Justus? 5,000. If I take his Rolex, you are expensive also. You're almost like research. Does it have Wi-Fi? What? Just as his Rolex has charging points. Maybe your chapati has USB portal. Spices. Okay? So, Even Mr. Okema is looking at you. But it is okay. That is why you are selling how many per day? Think about it. But now if he had mentorship, okay? Because the chapati is one of the tourist products in Uganda, is it? Okay. And soon we will have regional tourism promotion across the major cities. Then you go to these people, they link you to the organizers of the event. You go and do what? Market. Who is your MP? Where you do your chapatis? Where your campus is? Who? Winempaka. When you go to him with a proposal, you don't say you have gone as a chapati maker. No. You tell him as someone who is in food production. When he asks you which food, you say, I'm in value addition of weight. Small scale. He will listen to you. By the time you say chapati, he will have done something. Okay? That's what we need. That's what these Indians, these Chinese do when they come here. That's how they had taken this place. This one was a milk factory. Country test. That's how they had taken this. They came, they said, we are going to do this milk, this type of milk. You remember the flavored milk? It was here, where we are. This was the first discotheque in the West. And then later it became a milk facility. Now here we have an innovation facility. So you have to learn to negotiate. So those are the main objectives for this policy. There are 5. Now, another thing is the key outcomes. One, we hope that this policy, if startups are supported, they generate revenue for government also. But most importantly, the contribution of innovation is still at a very low scale. Currently, we are at 0.48. The contribution of innovation to GDP, very poor. But we think if it is done very properly, it should be pushing the economy by 5% on the contribution. And then, if he has been supported to innovate, then he should create jobs. But these goats you are buying in the village, they are only creating quarrels with your neighbors. But we have seen actually how you can pay your fees with ease. What I can warn you is don't get lost into media. These interviews, you are a success. No, don't give yourself availability for them. Because they will make you think you are bigger than what you are. That's the problem with media. I'm saying it in camera. Because most people, they come, when they hear just started with the 80 chapatis, he's now making 800 chapatis, he's making 4.5 million per month in profit. You spend time on radio and TV instead of working. No. Success should actually make you disappear. The more you succeed, the more humble you become like that. Yes. It is something that we saw is a big problem. And then, of course, now, when I come, I say, I'm looking for someone to invest my money in. And just as comes, he says, actually, I have business here making 800 chapatis per day. But we can even work together. Give me money, I'll be paying you profit and principal. Give me money for 2 years. I want to make 1,500 chapatis. It is easy for me to believe him because I will see in his books. I will be confident in him. So when we talk of investors, we are not only looking at these large-scale, big billions, but also from your perspective, local investment is very critical. You may go to the rich men in your community, you give them an idea. They bring money. Most of the people with money have no time to do also further investment. You give them ideas, and then you can grow. So, as I wind up, in the policy, there are what they call strategic interventions. One, in the improvement of the way of the business environment, One is we are proposing that there should be strengthened capacity for the actors that support startups. Some of them include the commercial officers. Currently, I remember we were here when there was the Uganda Development Corporation and Uganda Investment Authority here. Yes, UDB. I was on the team. We asked the commercial officers in the Ankole region, to give us a profile of the business opportunities in their districts. They did not, sir. They did not. It is even under the tried, but they also came late. But when we did the verification, we found they had not done an assessment. Yes. So we propose that Ministry of Trade should be supported to build capacity of the commercial officers to profile all the business opportunities. If you go to China, you will not find people on the street begging. No, everyone is busy doing something, no matter how small, but something that brings income. But the commercial officers are very, very influential in that, so they must be supported. Then we also talk about the investment fund. How many of you have visited the Presidential Regional Industrial Hub? It is near. Of course, for you, you have visited because by the virtue of your job. How many of you, Bishop Stewart, have the students visited there? You see? People are not prayerful, and yet they are surrounded by churches. This innovation village, how many of you have been here before? You see? They are here waiting to help you. Let's develop the desire to look for knowledge. So, but of course, it means that, and I know the government is trying to do mindset change in the parish development model. Please, before the government reaches you, also reach to yourself. Change your mind about self-employment. And you can do that in so many ways. There is another strategic action for you to adopt innovative ways of working. Okay? You see, the Innovation Village in Kampala has a lot more to offer than this one. Do you know the reason? The demand. You are not demanding for anything here. So they fear to bring it and it is redundant. Now, if you get your 150K, instead of going to the heat, first pass here, move around. You say, I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it. Have you asked the Innovation Village about it? Have you gone to him? Have you gone to him? Because we spend a lot of time on social media, learning a lot of things that will destroy us. How to be funny. You are learning sex styles. You are reading a lot about the grandfather of Bakaya, Saka. But you don't even know your great-grandparent. Don't you see how social media is diverting us? So, another reason is to build stronger collaborations between institutions of higher learning. That's why I was asking my colleague here, Reverend, have these students been visiting the Innovation Village? Have they visited the city commercial office to ask, what is there? What can I do? I have this. Where do I get help? Have you visited the banks? Because they have that division of trade development and facilitation. Have you gone there? Or you fear? We fear, isn't it? Have you gone to the industrial hub to ask questions? I want to do this. How do I get it? I need this technology. How do I get it? That is what we still lack. And then, of course, the rights of a business person. Me, I respect business people more than anyone else. Me, I'm inspired by business people. If Kashaka called for a public meeting, is it Kashaka? Yes. And the district chairperson calls for a public meeting, I go to Kashaka. Because Kashaka is talking about. The other one is in politics, the other one is in Rio. I'm sorry for the politicians that are here. Why? The wisdom, the experience he's going to be sharing is going to enrich me. So our love for economic success must multiply a lot more than now. Because even in psychology, what your heart desires, your hands go. Yes, he says it is even biblical. When we were in the secondary school, I used to be a koja of sorts. So I would call the boys, come and I tell you how to approach that girl. But we would go in Sunday Vision, look for lyrics of Celine Dion, look for lyrics of, Then we pick lines. We got King Solomon, Songs of Songs. We got, another one was Deuteronomy. Within 3 days, you will find them in a dark corner. He has given her a kiss. She has given him a kiss. Do you know how difficult it is to win a kiss in secondary school? Now, that energy that you use, if you could use it on starting a business, okay? Yes. The way ladies plot to detooth a man, they do this, they send highs, they do what, they dress up properly. If you could use the same energy to approach a distributor and you want wholesale outlet, it works. Hallelujah. Now, I don't know how many of you are in sciences. Who is doing sciences? Doesn't matter the science. Which sciences? Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Community Development. What is your aspiration after graduation? To work or to start business? How can you have a degree in agriculture and you are unemployed? It's a shame. It's being a religious leader and you are a sinner. It is very common. Do as I say, not as what? There was another hand for science. Yes, which science? In evolution technology, information technology. Are you employed or you are unemployed? In the lockdown, I have a small nephew. He likes computers. He was in senior 2 then. He has his cousin at Makansing. He does small mechanics and computer repairs. This boy went there. He was in Chitabi. For him, he wanted to know what do hackers do. So all his knowledge, he was accessing free internet. It was on how to hack. And you know, technology is changing because of hacking. So he goes back to the village. In my village, people have free data up to now. In my village, people call for free. And they pay him 20,000 per month. Up to now. So he paid his fees, that was 2020, 21, 22. Because he has gone to senior 5. We asked him, what do you do? He said, there is something you do on the SIM card. And then you get 0 rating. But he wanted to control them so that he switches them off those who don't pay. You know, in village, they use a lot of data for betting. Yes. In my village, and he has around 50 subscribers. Then we asked him, how do you cut them off? Now he linked them to his email. So my mind was on cybercrime. He said, no, uncle, I read the laws on cybercrime. I'm okay. This is senior too. He's paying his school fees up to now. He hacked. Now, if it is MTN and Airtel to look for him, they should not look for him to take him to prison. They should look for him to work with him. You have heard of hackathons. Hackathons are competitions for hacking. Yes, that's what they do, isn't it? Now, if you are in that, I will ask you, do you know how to hack? If you don't know how to hack, then you are wrong. You are in a wrong course. The beginning of innovation in IT is hacking. She knows that. I'm sure you were taught that. Because you cannot develop anything if you don't know how to hack. It means you can, innovation in IT is about killing and creating. Yes. This boy is there. He's there. He's making money. You hear him. He's called Kakuru. Kakuru as a kunshara. I give him his money. He said, Uncle, I can do this for you. I said, no, thank you. But those are no negligible. Ninkokokobo in a farm, abantu bakwija bakeye omuyembe bakagulya bakagenda. That is not a big problem. And the telecom companies in developed communities are used to that. Okay? So, how many hackers can we create? Countries are investing in creating hackers. That's why we have hackathons. You read about hackathons. They bring you the best hacker is awarded. Because normally when you hack, you create. Don't say that I'm in Mbarara, I'm not in the city, I'm not in the capital. No. It is part of other places in the world, like it is in New York. They are also somewhere. So we need that. Of course, I'm talking about positive crime. Because in entrepreneurship, we believe in asking for apology instead of asking for permission. Those are the rules. Because if you have read about the theory of creative destruction, if you have read Schumpeter, have you ever heard of the word kujenga na kubomoa? It is common. Most people don't know what it means actually. Yes. Then lastly, enhancing access to markets. Do you know Posta Uganda? Most of the people who were working in Posta Uganda are now unemployed because there has been a change. But then they are now digital. Most of the, I have 2 box numbers, but they are all digital. And I pay every year. But I pay for air. But who has got the business for that air? Who is giving Posta, who is taking that service? Is it a Ugandan? It's not a Ugandan. So where will the Ugandan who would be doing it going? So those are some of the issues. So we are saying, if you are making your agricultural output, can you access a market in Congo? Market in Rwanda? That is trade facilitation. Yeah. So those are some of the strategic actions. And we felt that at least for this consultation, we get your views. In your nature of business, where can the policy be useful to you? What are some of the things that you think should be included in the policy? I have read here, most of you put the expectations you want to get today. But now, I see it is 9 minutes past 1. At 20 minutes past 1, we should be closing the session. So I want to give 3 minutes. Give me 3 things that you think should be put in this policy. 3 things. Don't look at your business. Look at the business community, especially those that are in the business that you are doing. So we are going to write on a paper like this, the way you did. 3 things. And policy means you are not proposing for your own business, but you say the youth in you called it what type of manufacturing? Small scale manufacturing. Agricultural value addition should be given this. The youth in ICT should, according to the policy. 3 important things. Okay? So let's do that in 3 minutes, because in the other 3 minutes, there is something I wanted to talk about. And then after that, I'll hand over back to the chairperson. Now remember, this policy is not a strategy. Strategy is where they talk about things to be done after this what. But the policy is not a law, but it is, you refer to it when you want to support the business people. But also in your conversations, you have to know that you have participated in the development of this policy. It's not something for everyone. How many people are in Imbarara and how many are here now? So again, you should not take it for granted. Nimangwa bamwe muli students numutina kopa. I'm seeing someone hiding the page. No, this is not an exam.
But Chair, sorry, Professor, that is also accepted because don't want to have people having similar things.
Yes, exactly. Our 3 minutes are up. Let's bring whatever we have written. I will request the gentleman who is... Okay. We have our colleague who will help me collect the papers. You don't need to put your name, because we are going to review all this from the north, from the east, now from the west. Because the central we have already done. And Chair, I hope in future we shall come back to inform them about this policy, create awareness, and how they can actually use this policy to develop their businesses.
I was told that this session was broadcasting live on creative media on YouTube. In case you have a friend who you believe they really missed, make sure you search creative media on YouTube and you share the session with them after you have left this place today.
Mr. Kema, mwaheza?
Are we done?
Mwaheza? I was asking whether they are done. Mwaheza means, are you done? Okay. So tuza kuzirundana, tuzicompiling and then to review the areas we can use. Now, lastly, my chairperson asked me to talk about very, very few things in 4 minutes. For those in business and those intending to start business, I'm also running a small business. It's a consultancy business. But it feeds me better than my job, by the way. So I pay taxes. I am registered. I employ people, so I can also claim to be a practicing entrepreneur in that way. And I'll be very quick. If you want to really grow in your business, you have to have a personal image. Who are you? Who are you? What should people know you for? When they talk of Kazire, what comes to your mind? Is he a muyaye? Is he a professional? Is he a gentleman? Very few people know that Kazire is actually a catechist in church. Yes. And becoming a catechist builds his brand on the reputation of integrity. You can be a Rotaractor. When you are in those small associations, there is a way someone perceives you. Okay? The businessman, the one who is known to be, don't tell me, but at least. Now, do you feel comfortable working with that person? No. Another important thing is, you have to be known for quality. You have to be known for reliability. You have to be known for trust. To succeed in business, business is like marriage. I don't know. Those of you who are married, marriage is only good when you want it to be good. But when you leave it to the public, it can really be bad. He told you about children, but it is maintenance. Because his children can decide to bring him displeasure. Right now they are giving him happiness. But he has to be patient with the children. He has to discipline, he has to encourage, he has to motivate, he has to counsel. That's how business is. You have to hang in there. Some days are good, some days are bad. You ask Justus. Some days are bad, isn't it? And some days, no, because of wow. Yes. So resilience and tenacity. I don't know. In a girlfriend, I went to teen. Focus. So you are a virgin. You should be. You are a virgin, then you did like this.
Professor, you're asking very hard questions.
Now, even if you go to this girl, you go to the other girl, you go to the other girl, you'll find only one difference. Their parents. They are only different parents, but so you have to know that to make her for her to be good, it is also part of your contribution. That's how business is. He's running out from chapatis to goats. Because I'm sure he's inspired by some people with goats, is it? But how come the other people are running out from goats to chapatis? It means that focus on your business. It can give you what you want from other businesses. I asked the question of girlfriend because I had someone who has had an average of 200 girlfriends. And is still not yet sure whether whom he has is the best. And his statement is, they are all the same. I said, now why are you looking for additional? In sampling, there is what they call saturation. You are like, opportunities. So, another one is, if you build a good name for yourself, you should be able to create more meaningful friendships. Business neyo kunywanar. Business take up hoyong. No. You see, he's in chapatis. He has to know people who supply because naenda people with better quality and better prices. But he has to get people in council. When they come to him, he knows I will call Mr. Gava, things are bad. But if Mr. Gava is not close to you, his response will not be as quick as if he was. I think the word now is Gambanog. Gambanog is not a bad word. It's not a bad practice. It's an issue of networking. Yes. So, but also networking helps you to get good workers. Yes. Then another one is financial discipline. There is a place called Koranoria. Koranoria is Korenga. That is that was then, but now is Korano Korachi. No Garzamu. Korano Bika is also not good. Korano Garzamu. Make as you reinvest because you have to grow. So it is a problem here. Because if every additional source of income is another girlfriend, I don't know how many Justus has now, because you'll be having girlfriends who come because they have free food. But in your heart, you know how many you have. But don't create another girlfriend, because that is expenditure and stress. But you'll find if you focus on the one you have, she will actually help you to manage. So that 10 years from now, you look back with how you said, Okangomera. Hallelujah. 2, you have to have a mind of growth. You know, when he was talking about his chapatis, we said from 80 to 400 to 500. The next thing you will see will be a regional distributor of Supreme. Because there is a time they were looking for, you know, they took over Hotloff. They looked for student entrepreneurs to take these big, the distribution centers. Students didn't apply. Yeah. It was a shame. Then, of course, you have to know that business is not for one person. Even if it is yours alone, you have to know to work with people. Because you are going to have workers. How do you build teamwork? And you have to continuously read more about chapatis, Rolexes. I don't know whether just as you do that, and all of you in your businesses, you have to dig deep. Our sister here in computing, you have to know computing more than ever before. AI. You know AI. Are you reading about it? Artificial intelligence. And now people have moved out from artificial intelligence to another level. Where is it? So lastly is learn to utilize technology. And technology is everywhere, whether it is in food, whether it is in farming, whether it is in manufacturing, whether it is in services. It's everything now, because it can serve different purposes. Is it for marketing? Is it for transactions? Is it for monitoring? There are so many ways we can use technology. I think I'll end here for now, and I want to thank you for giving me all the attention you have. And if there is any question, a quick question, we can attend to it. I also see the catering team is here, and the minds are also turning there. I'm mindful about that. Yeah. Chair, I think that's it from me, and if there's any question, it can come. Okay?
Anyone? Anyone with a question?
Be straight to the point.
Be point blank, eh?
Is one thing I expected. I haven't received it.
Thank you.
Clapping for me at least,
Professor.
and then you can ask me when you have made me happy.
Thank you. My question is related to the point you spoke that those in the business are not growing. I just wanted to get the answer for this. You've spoken it, but you have not expounded it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Question. Hey. Any other questions? You guys, How many wrote the most notes? If you have like 3 pages, raise up your hand. 3 pages. Good, good, good. This means
They were
a lot
taking
has been.
screenshots.
Screenshots. Those ones who took screenshots of the words. Where are you? Yeah? Any other person with a question? Good. I can see the people who were very actively listening. Every time I go in an event and I do not have the best question there is, it means that certainly something didn't go right during the session. So I need to be sure that most of us, everything went well. So you must have good questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abajo. There is when we all know businesses, that's where there is growth. And then there's when a business is not so profitable. We all know that not all businesses are profitable. Some are more demanding and they can even occupy more of your time. And how can I identify a business to invest in that won't be so demanding, and also anything I invest in, I get out? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Next. Good. Now, questions are coming. Are they hot?
Thank you so much, sir. Mine is a simple one. You have highlighted something concerned with startups looking into or seeking official operation licenses. And I'm sure perhaps some of the stakeholders concerned with licensing us startups are here or they are watching live. How can you help us as Minister of Trade, perhaps PSFU, or how can you try to engage them? You make a platform that us who have represented the many can benefit, but with a big vote of perhaps a good unison. But those people will listen, other than it may be hard for me as a student to go and to this office, but if we are really a good umbrella. So I want to see how best you can really leverage our presentation over there and these people integrate us into the license ban incentives offered in marketing. Thanks.
We can take the last.
Okay, thank you. You have talked of business not for one person. So with that, I realize that you are in a position to answer that. If the young innovator, I am starting the business, is it good to start alone, then I involve other workers later, or I first combine effort, we begin as partners? Thank you.
Okay. I'll start from the second last, but the second last is for Ministry of Trade. They are here, and the commercial officers are here. We call them entrepreneurial teams for startups. Is it good to start alone? It would be good, but it is not right. You get overburdened, you are thinking alone, you are challenging yourself, and you are always wrong when you are right, and you're always right when you are wrong. I know we tend to fear working with other people, but to be honest, you can't grow a business alone. It's difficult. It's very difficult. There is what happens when you work with someone. Sometimes you have some fear, then you get a partner. The risk appetite is different. Maybe they know someone that you don't know. Maybe they have a different viewpoint. Don't look at the worry of sharing benefits. No. Me, I want to discourage you from doing business alone. Today you are here for the training, the business is closed. No one is picking calls. You get it? Just start on such simple things. When you lose someone, you are going for burial, the business has gone for burial. When you go for school, just as the business is in class. You get it? Yeah. So for me, I want to encourage you, try as much as possible. And they don't need to be your friends. No, don't do business with friends. Friendship and business are not connected at all. I've tried it. It doesn't work. Look for someone who has the same perspective of the business as you. Things will change. Me, I want to discourage you from loners. Don't say this person is going to eat my money, and you don't necessarily have to share business returns equally. No. Agree on the sharing arrangements. We share this, we keep this. Because if you don't agree on the sharing, you'll be trouble. That's how the red paper, not how, that's why the red paper collapsed. They did not agree on how to share. Someone would go collect money in the field. The other one collects there. This one says, I'll bring my brother. This one says, you know, it's important. But business is not good as a sole proprietor. No. These people you see here with big businesses, you think they are alone, but it is not true. Behind, there is a team. This is just the front runner. You think Pepe Kuri is a musician and is alone? No, he has a crew. You think Bobby Wine is a musician, he's alone, Firebase? He has a crew. You must have a crew. Just a second. How do I identify a profitable business that is less demanding? You want children, you want to remain a virgin, so choose. Business is the most demanding, not a job. Most people in jobs have now left for a weekend. If you want a less demanding business, I wanted to say you go and serve the church, but the church is busier. That's why the reverends, they have no weekend because they must be at church to deliver God's word when you are at home. Nothing is less demanding. So if you want something less demanding, you can try 3 things. 1, die now. The second one, commit a crime, go to prison. There is a lot of freedom in prison. We teach them in Ruzira. I know, I go there every Thursday. They read papers, you go play football. Free food, free accommodation. People visit you. You are okay. The third one, you find a way of becoming stupid so that people don't care about you. You will live a less demanding life. But you want to succeed, you have to multiply the pressure by 8, not by 2. Yesterday, I stopped working at 2 a.m. I started traveling here at 5 a.m. And I'm going to work up to 3 a.m. So, this laptop is my witness. You get it? There is nowhere you find an entrepreneur saying that my business is less demanding. Even being a thief, you have to work day and night. Because during the day you are busy trying to hide what you stole. In the night you are busy stealing. Is prostitution less demanding? They sleep with averagely 5 men. Have you ever slept with a man and you see the hard work? Is it less demanding? Ask these people, they are in camera here. In the night, they will be editing. You see, they are standing all the time. You say, he's okay, he's in camera, he's going to eat. No. Is a DJ job less demanding? Right now, he's busy lining up the songs. Don't think that they find the songs. No, you have to do a lineup every single day. So if you want less demand, I've given you the opportunities to choose from the choices. So it's not true that there is a less demanding business. It's like saying, I want a good wife who will not disturb me. Then you go and marry a fool. Because any normal wife will do it. It's like saying, me, I want a man who is going to give me time. Where do you get such a stupid man? A man who gives you time is a lazy man. Because a man, even in animals, is supposed to be hunting. Don't you see the crane? The cranes, crested cranes, they go home at 6. At 6, you'll find there is one which stays in a compound in the village. It works from Isinjiro. You see them landing. And when they reach there, they play. You hear them singing in the evening, and they go sleeping. So, my brother, I think you have got the message. There is no business that is not profitable. I've not seen it. It depends on the one holding it. Every business is profitable. That's why it is being done by some. It's not true that there is no business that is not profitable. It doesn't exist. But you must understand how to get the best out of it. Lastly, stagnated growth. Why do we have stagnated growth? One of them is the desire to grow from you, the owner. There is what they call survival. Necessity business. You are looking for a job, you don't want to grow. For you are comfortable there. They are there. But another one may be because of the purpose of starting a business. There are those people who start businesses to look for fees. When the children get out of school, I got what I wanted, it was school fees, and that's it. There are so many other reasons. I think I will not exhaust them now, but I'm sure you also had an answer. And one of the reasons we are having this policy is to support businesses to learn how to grow. Yes, I think the last one will be answered by the chairperson. How will the people get all this message deeper into the communities and widely? I think that will be part of your communication. I once again thank you very much, and for the suggestions you have brought, we'll incorporate them in before we present the draft policy to the authorities. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Professor. We can hand over the microphone to the chair to answer the last question, and then we can get to see what next after him. Thank you.
My dear Professor, thank you very much for the job well done. But before I close the meeting, allow me to give an opportunity to the head of the Trade, Industry and Local Economic Development Department of Mbarara City, Mr. Agaba James. He is our contact person in Mbarara. Don't expect the ministry to have a branch here, but actually indirectly is our branch. So Mr. Agaba James, please provide some words of wisdom, either by responding to some pending issues and any other information that you think is relevant.
Thank you very much, my colleague, James. Thank you so much, Professor, for the detailed presentation. My name is Agaba James. I'm a Principal Commercial Officer in Mbarara City. And I'm glad and very happy to be here in this training. A lot has been said, but I'm not so sure. The way the presentation started is not the way it ended. Did it? byatankanazana mumpora professor nanta kumanya na presentation aheru kurugana aheru kutora but finally yagireta ayatora kandi ntekateka nk'umutere munonge ngaro. What the ministry is doing together with the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda is to generate ideas that will be put together into a policy that will help to in decision making by different stakeholders. Different stakeholders, we talk about the Ministry of Trade and other ministries. We talk about the local governments, the city and the districts. We talk about the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. So once we have this policy, it is going to be used by different stakeholders, and I think that is a good thing for us to, it is going to guide us. There was a last question which was not answered, or which was partly answered, that how are we going to ensure that people get this kind of information? We have different avenues of sharing information. We have media already, we also have our office, which is responsible for disseminating, especially once the policy is in place. We shall organize different forums to disseminate this policy for people to be able to understand. On radios, on TVs, forums like these ones. Then we can also have some articles in the newspapers for people to be able to read and understand the policy. Then there was also a question about mortality of businesses. Mortality of businesses. I think somebody asked that question there. Why are businesses collapsing even before they end their, they witness their first birthday? The professor has talked about it fully, but I also wish to add that some businesses lack what we call dark model. Dark is D, A, and C model, especially when they're beginning. D is commitment. People lack commitment. They start a business when they're not sure of where it is supposed to go. They start a business, I usually see some of you. He starts, like my friend there who is doing chapati. He comes to my office saying, I'm looking for a job, if you can connect me somewhere. But you already have a business. Now, if you have a business and still you are looking out to look for another job, then that is not good. That is not good as an entrepreneur. If you have started your business, do your business. Be committed to that business. Ensure it grows from small to big enterprise. And then A is alignment. Align your ideas, align your resources towards what you're committed to, towards your business. Then the last one is the commitment. People are not committed. C is commitment. They are not committed. They are there, but there are certain things they are lacking. I'm also, I work for government, but I'm also an entrepreneur somewhere. And like Professor was saying, that his other side income is much better than his salary. It is also my situation. I am a farmer. And I prefer to be addressed as a farmer. And I'm looking forward when soon I'm going to retire. When I retire, you don't tell me that I worked for government. You see me as a farmer. Because what I'm currently getting from farming is not anywhere compared to what I'm getting from government. Are you together? There's business, there's money in farming. But to get that money, you have to commit yourself to doing it. And other innovation skills that they have been talking about. So I encourage you, go for it. You'll not regret. Professor has told us very well. Maba mtajiro okwe, ahandi nebuza kubagumira. You also need to identify your potentials. What potentials do you have? Somebody said he's doing agriculture there. If you are doing agriculture, then don't go for electronics business. Are you together? Don't go for electronics business. Come up with new ideas in agriculture area, because first of all you studied agriculture. You can tell ngwakoresa herbicide eji, it has a direct impact on human beings, on plants, than compared to this one. But if you go for electronics, then you will not be doing well in that area. So go for areas that you have a skill in and identify your potentials in that area. But also while doing business, try to come up with a unique identifier. What is it that identifies you very well? Is it your character? Is it your business? Is it trustworthiness? What is it that really identifies you? I know of one person who deals in a posho. During lockdown, abakwa shortage of food. Abantu bakamba, his competitors started packing 40 kilograms instead of 50. Are you together? For him, he maintained 50. And his price, of course, was a little bit high compared to those who are packing 40 kilograms of posho instead of 50. So for them, their price was lower. He maintained, of course, his sales were not comparable with others. Others had too much sales as compared to him. But soon thereafter, people learned that they were buying 40 kilograms instead of 50. They started buying from the other one, and these other ones, the competitors, lost market up to now. They have not recovered. And his market is growing. Why? Integrity. He maintained a standard of 50. I said a portion what 50 kilograms at this match. I am not changing. Not even a single kilo missing. So when you are doing business, that's some of the things you need to consider to build trust in your customers so that they know you have a good product with equal measurements. They will always come for you. And then as you also begin to innovate the services, the products, you also need to consider what we call product life cycle. Once you go into innovation, manufacturing, you are looking at different kinds of services. You are looking at different products. But even those products you are looking at, you should have a strategy of improving always, or innovating new ideas, new products on the market. So that once you have a product that is approaching a diminishing return, why it is going to lose market because of competition and the other players in the market, you should be able to start a new product to support the old product. So once you go into entrepreneurship, you don't stop thinking. You think every day, every evening. You come up with new ideas. Are we together? Otherwise, if you keep doing it the same way, you're going to be outcompeted after 2 years, and then you lose it all. With those few remarks, I would like to appreciate you for attending this very, very important workshop. And when you are called upon, always come and attend. Banyankore nabagira ngo umuntu okuzure butashoma nogizirata. Once you die, you stop learning. But once you are still alive, you continue to learn more things, and then you keep growing your knowledge in many different sectors. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you, our facilitators. We've liked the presentations, and we are happy. You can give them a hand clap again. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Mr. Gaba, thank you very much for the constructive submission you've made. So you people realize that the ministry has serious resource on ground. It is up to you to tap into it. First of all, I would like to thank the professor for sparing his valuable time much as this is his work, but for a professor to give you 4 or 5 hours is a very tremendous thing that we need to value, as he has told you that he earns more from his side hustles than he earns from government. We thank you very much for coming. We value your time and submissions. As the professor has explicitly stated, we are going to study in detail all these submissions and find where they appropriately suit. The next time we come here, we carry over a 98% chance that we will come to implement. The implementation of this policy is now, will be subject to approval by cabinet. So after consultations, we will submit it to Cabinet Secretariat for approval, and then the Honorable Mwebesa will table it to cabinet for approval by the President. Secondly, I would like to respond to an issue of communication. Almost every policy now comes with a communication strategy. We have already made efforts towards developing one, and so this policy will be well communicated, especially to you through him or through his office. Thirdly, I would like to request you to stick to your dreams. What you are now, if it's not profiting, if you're not earning any profit, is like a dream. But we have documented evidence that so many entrepreneurs who have stuck to their guns have made it. The professor told you that entrepreneur, for him, he loves entrepreneurs, he treasures them than us who are employed. That is the truth. There is no rich man who is employed. He is not there. So mark those words. If you want to be rich, be self-employed. Not with one person, but I think with many. You have examples here, Mr. Bitature and the rest. They have their own businesses. If you are employed by others, they can fire you anytime. As we are here, me and him, we don't know whether we are safe. We might go back and we are told, your tenure has ended. Hey, that's it, because the boss can decide. Another point I'd like you to consider very seriously is the issue of trust, being trustworthy. Some of you, in your submissions in terms of expectations, said that you are here to see where there are possible sources of funding. Money is all over. There is a lot of money going around to support you, both by government, private sector, or even friends. I mainly borrow from my friends. Many cases at zero interest. Why? I don't tell them that I lost the money. I pay back as we agreed. So because they trust me, for me there is nothing that I can tell. No, I have to pay back. So please, the money is around from your nearest neighbor, from your family, from your friends. Rather than go to the bank first, go to those people who know you. But be trustworthy. Someone gives you the 100,000 shillings, don't tell them that you lost the money. Don't even mention it. Sell your trousers, your skirts, your blouses, and pay back. Don't say any other thing. I lost the money, I became sick. Sickness is not part of my business. I gave you my money. So pay back. You understand? As young people and as Ugandans, the level of trust is very low. That is why banks are even taking over people's buildings, because we borrow knowing we'll pay from the businesses, when in actual sense, we should have partnered or gotten money from our friends. But they don't trust us, so they don't give us. The money will end up in the banks. So please be trustworthy. It's something that will take you miles. The Indians come into this country with no money, but they look for someone who comes from their area, or in Punjab, or in New Delhi, wherever, and they present their business plans. And they get $1 billion, they get hundreds of millions. just because they are trustworthy. One Indian I know killed himself. Why? Business went hayway and the guy couldn't pay back the loan, so he decided to kill himself. So please, be trustworthy, be known for that. That is one of the unique identifiers you should have. That man is trustworthy. If you give him the money, they will return it. Then the other, I have had an opportunity to travel outside Uganda, and I've realized that many of these companies you treasure are family businesses. Big Toyota, Mitsubishi, they began as family. Dafos in Denmark, as family businesses. The owner of Dafos was a graduate of electrical engineering or mechanical. Then after graduation, he went home and he thought of how to apply whatever he had studied. And he began. Now it's a multinational company making converters, inverters, all sorts of, electrical or mechanical machines. So as young people, most of you are university students, when you graduate, or even before graduation, come out with a plan of how you're going to apply what you have studied. Let the issue of looking for employment be secondary, but also put it in your mind because you might need the money. But still the money you can get from your friends. So, and begin with your relatives, they can support you. Because if your boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, father cannot support you, cannot help you to roll a machine of milling maize, then who will help you? Family can withstand certain things because they believe, chafe, as they say in my language, this is ours. And that's how they manage. So when you produce your children, they work there. Do you see how we can eliminate poverty in Uganda? But what we do, we want to look for all sorts of partners who don't even know us, and they have different interests. By the time you get to realize that that's not the right partner, your money is gone. Your mortgage, your PDM money, your money from the bank is gone. The other is, please, the government set up these institutions, these ministries, these agencies, these departments where Mr. Agaba and I work to deliver services to you. So please don't resign and say, government, you are B, they are thieves. But you don't tushuma. Agaba will ask for money. How, my dear? But I'm sorry for abusing the language. It could tweeba. Agaba jendo kunyiba. Kunyiba. No, Agaba is not going to steal your money. James is not going to steal your money. Go and insist. And there are even remedial institutions. If he's asking for a bribe, the RCC or RCC is there. Why don't you report him to the RCC? IGG has a hotline. Why don't you report? But what you do, you resign and you step back and you don't get the services. The other is government has set up low interest financing in commercial banks. There is small business recovery fund, there is microfinance support center funding. Go there. When you go to these banks, ask for government money. But instead of using your funds for funny things, you use it to know what they are. So that you go there with an informed position. I want small business recovery fund by government. It comes at 12% interest. Insist. Because we realize, the Minister and Finance, that actually these commercial banks are facing a challenge of having to prioritize. They have their own money from their shareholders, and they have money which is expensive, and then they have money from the government, which is cheaper. So which of those should they sell? They were set up by the shareholders to sell their money to earn, and now government has brought in this cheaper money. So what they do, they tell you their money, which is expensive, but you ask for government money. Agricultural credit facilities in the commercial banks, it's there. Insist on being served. However small, however young you are, as long as you are informed, they will feel ashamed not to serve you. So with those few words from me and my colleagues here and from you, I would like to now more or less close this meeting, but hand over to, for a few minutes, we need to recap. We need to give you a few of those standing points that that Mr. Kenneth Twesije has scripted, has written. Thank you very much. See you very soon.
That clap is not enough. I have seen someone who has intentionally refused to clap. Let's have a clap for the team that has submitted today. In my experience of training, I never leave a training without people thinking about what was in the training. If you remember how I started, I was very clear that you must have what to take home as a preacher, right? So I want to know, how many of us know at least the focus areas of this policy? At least one of the focus areas of this policy. I'm seeing one person. How many? How many? Because this is the most important part for you to actually deliver out there, should you get a chance of someone asking you. Yeah? How many of us are supercharged to start a business if you haven't started, or if you have already started, to improve? 3 people, 7 people, okay. I want to assume that all of us are ready to build your businesses, but I want to leave you with 5 questions that should help you build your businesses, right? 5 questions, think about them. If you don't get answers, contact me so that tomorrow you know if you are building the right business or if you are in a wrong business. The first question is, how can I nurture my idea? You have to think about these questions by yourself first. How can I nurture my idea? Yeah? The second one is, I want to assume that the first one is done. The second one is, how do you measure the window of success? Second, how do I measure the window of success? It was intentional not to say the door of success, but the window of success. How many people pass through a window every day? So you must be very good to pass through a window, or it is just a few people who will think about passing through the window instead of the door. Third, what market research do I need to be used to build my business? Together? What market research do I need to use to build my business? Fourth, which resources are most difficult to get? Which resources are most difficult to get? And everyone who set expectations of this meeting, this is somewhere where your expectations can actually also be captured, or where anything else you need to know can be captured. Lastly, but not least, what are the most worrisome and exciting things in establishing a business? What are the most worrisome and exciting things that shake you when you want to build a business, to start a business, but also, on the other hand, things that excite you when you want to build a business? Are we together? Are we all together? Now, you go do your homework. If you do not get the answers, I will give you a website where you will get the answers, but make sure you first do your homework. Lastly, but not least, these are the 5 priority areas of the policy. So you should just remember, you're not going to write, I'm just going to read for you. And then we call it a day, take a photo, have our lunch, and we call it a day. The first one, priority area of the startup policy, is creating suitable and sustainable financing options for startups. So that is about finance. Second is improve the ease of doing business. Yeah? These all were very well summarized by the professor. Third is accelerate innovation adoption across various sectors to improve competitiveness of businesses or startups. So startups must be competitive. You must have a competitive business. Fourth is create an in-depth understanding of the startup ecosystem. When someone says what is innovation, what is entrepreneurship, what is a startup, you should be bold enough to tell them what this is and how it differs from other businesses. Lastly, accelerate access to local, regional, and international markets for startups. Having access to markets, yeah? With that, I hope we have been able, or the team here has been able to do a very good job. I want to call all of you in front, and we take a group photo. Okay? Let's all come in front and take a group photo. Let's all come in front and take a group photo. Yes. Someone come help me lift this table on the other side. We are taking a group photo. Any pull-up banners that must appear in the photo should be carried to the front. Make sure you do not miss the photo. It's most important. And remember, lunch is ready. And keep your coupons very safely, because without a coupon you might not get food. But let's all set up. Let's all get ready. Faster, faster, faster. Faster. Was that the right place for the photo, by the way? Was that the right place? Yes. Let's all of us set up. So we shall stand behind yeah, cameraman, kindly organize the team to have the right photo.